Who Arsenal should sign in this summer's transfer window. Before the video starts, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming over this summer, and give the video a like if you enjoy it. I've also put a quiz question in the comment section below, so go down there and see if you can get the answer right. Also check out our feature channel, Number One Scout Finding That Future Star, who uploads highlight videos of different players. The two most recent videos are on Luka Jovic and Kai Havertz, so go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below. With Arsenal missing out on Champions League football next season with a 5th place finish and losing Europa League final, it seems that a rebuild this summer will have to be done on a more limited budget. Reports suggest that Emery will have a net budget of around £40 million to spend this summer, so he'll have to rely on player sales in order to raise funds to bring in new players. So who are the players that Arsenal should be looking to sell, and how much could they get for them? Well, players like Aaron Ramsey, Petr Cech, Danny Welbeck and Stefan Lichtsteiner are all leaving the club on free, which will free up some space on the wage budget. Nacho Monreal could be sold for $5 million, Mustafi for $15 million, El Neni for $10 million, Callum Chambers for $10 million and Mkhitaryan for $15 million. The two more interesting players that I would look to sell this summer if I was Arsenal would be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mesut Ozil. Despite Aubameyang probably being Arsenal's best player along with Lacazette last season, the striker is nearly 30 and there has been speculation of interest from a Chinese club. If Arsenal could get around £60 million for Aubameyang, this would be a great amount for a player who is nearly 30 and may have only 2 or 3 years left at the top. Arsenal could use these funds to reinvest in younger players throughout the squad, which seems to be a necessity considering how vulnerable they looked in certain positions when they had 1 or 2 major injuries last season. The same goes for Ozil, who has underperformed for the last few seasons now and is 30, and he doesn't really fit into Emery's system, though his massive wages are going to make him hard to shift. Ozil's on about £350k a week, about £18 million a year. Arsenal will probably have to subsidise about £150k of those weekly wages, meaning that they'll save about £10 million a year in wages and could get probably a transfer fee of around £10 million for Ozil, meaning that they could bring in around £20 million in extra transfer funds. Altogether, Arsenal should be able to raise around £135 million from player sales, which would give Emery a total budget of around £175 million this summer. So where should Arsenal look to improve? They need at least one centre-back, a left-back who is better defensively than Kolasinac is, a creative central midfielder, an attacking midfielder, a wide player with pace, and also a striker to replace the departing Aubameyang. And maybe even a right back as well, as Bellerin is quite injury prone and Maitland-Niles in that position for a whole season wouldn't fill me with confidence. For a centre-back, Arsenal should make a move for Ibrahima Konate, who will cost around £35 million to sign from RB Leipzig. Konate has just turned 20, is a quick physical centre-back who is well suited to playing in a high line. He has a very good reading of the game to anticipate through balls and crosses, and his tackling ability and concentration makes him a very good one-on-one defender, which is seen as he's only been dribbled past 0.4 times in the Bundesliga this season. He'd be an excellent addition not just because of his age, but because he'd walk into the Arsenal side and be the best centre-back at the club and would improve the defence a lot for the next few seasons. At right back, Valentino Lazaro, the 23-year-old Austrian at Hertha Berlin, would be a great addition as he'd be an improvement on Hector Bellerin's attacking output. Lazaro is fantastic going forward. He has created 1.8 key passes per game this season in the Bundesliga and 2.3 per game in the 2017-2018 season. The improvement is seen as Bellerin has only created 0.4 key passes per game this season and 0.9 per game in the 2017-2018 season. Lazaro would cost around £15 million, so that would be a bargain compared to most top-class right-backs on the market. As a left-back option, Youssef Kone from Lille would be the man I'd bring in. He's nearly 24 years old, would cost around £10 million. He's much better defensively in terms of his positioning and one-on-one defending ability than Kolasinac is, so would improve Arsenal's defence, as Kolasinac has looked a bit suspect defensively towards the back end of the season, but is a better attacking threat than Kone, so those two could be interchanged throughout the season. To bring in some creativity into the centre of midfield, with Xhaka, Torreira and Guendouzi being ball-winning or box-to-box midfielders rather than playmakers, Dani Ceballos at Real Madrid would be my number one choice. Zidane seems to have made it clear to the 22-year-old that he can leave this summer. West Ham are reportedly interested in Ceballos for a fee of around £18 million, but that would include a buyback clause. Arsenal could probably seal a deal for £35 million with no buyback clause, and even this would still be great value. Arsenal lack a central midfield who can create from deep with incisive passes and dribbles through the midfield to open up a defensive structure. When Ceballos last played a real full season in 2016-2017 with Real Betis, he racked up 2.7 dribbles and 1.3 key passes per game, showing that if he is given a regular chance like he wasn't at Real Madrid, he can be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League and bring the quality from central midfield that Arsenal have lacked since Cesc Fabregas left the club. Hakim Ziyech and Ryan Fraser would be two great attacking midfield options. Both would bring added chance creation ability to the Arsenal side alongside pace and the ability to dribble past defenders to advance the attack. Ziyech has a £25 million release clause and is one of the best creators in Europe. In the Eredivisie this season, he's created 3.7 key passes and 2.6 dribbles per game, which are astonishing statistics, and he's been the best creator in the Eredivisie for the last 4 or 5 seasons. Fraser for Bournemouth this season finished 4th for key passes created per game in the Premier League with 2.4. Only James Maddison, Eden Hazard and Willian had more. He will also be available for around the £20 million mark with just 1 year left on his contract, so it would be a fantastic purchase for Arsenal in order to reignite their attacking midfield. As an Aubameyang replacement, Tammy Abraham would be a great buy. He'd cost around the £30 million mark, but the fact that he's only 22 and is a homegrown player adds further value to his stock. Abraham has 26 and 23 goals in his last 2 championship seasons and has some excellent interplay with the attacking midfielders, whilst also being able to use his dribbling and off the ball movement to create chances. He'd be a secondary option to Lacazette, but could also play alongside him in a front two. The total transfer spend would be £170 million with a net spend of £35 million, whilst also getting ageing players on big money off the wage bill. The problems at centre back and at left back would be addressed, whilst also drastically improving the centre of midfield, attacking midfield and right back positions. Ziyech would be the star signing, but players like Konate, Lazaro, Ceballos and Abraham would bring bags of potential to this Arsenal side. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and check out the quiz question in the comment section below.